And welcome aboard. Hi, welcome to Just Talking Games, the second talk show ever. I rarely stream this type of content, but we did it in January, beginning of this year, and it was pretty awesome. I have to say, we had like a few hours where we checked out new games, upcoming games, past releases, talked a bit about the stream, future of the stream, and such things. I'm gonna do that again today. So welcome. Hey Chaos Sun, good to see you. Ahoy. How are you doing? Glad to have you aboard. As you can see, I already picked the first trailer. It's a game I'm looking forward to. It was supposed to. I think last year it was announced as Spring 2020. And this is a bit of an old trailer, actually. Maybe we check out something more recent. Yeah. Dying Light 2, right? Currently, we don't know yet. That's the current release window. Before I run it, I'm really looking forward to it because the first game, have you seen it? Have you played it? Was really cool. Zombies, parkour, gameplay, bit of an open world, make your own story sandbox. But it had a story built in, so you could sort of follow a story, right? So that's that. Dying Light 2, hopefully this year. And we're not going to watch all 26 minutes of this. It's a very long gameplay trailer or demo. Scripture, welcome. Happy Sunday. Okay, son, you're checking what devotion shrines you've left until Homestead. Okay. Oh, you have not played it. Okay. Dying Light 2 is a bit of an upgrade. In that respect, Dying Light 2 is much like State of Decay 2. Both games are an upgrade on the previous version. They are not completely different. They come with some new mechanics. They come with better looks, better controls, and all sorts of upgrades, but they are not fundamentally different. In some games, that's bad because you think, okay, they couldn't come up with anything new, so they had to rebake the old game. In case of Dying Light, you know.
Welcome to the world premiere of the E3 2019 Dying Light 2 gameplay demo. Dying Light 2 is an open-world action RPG game that gives you the power to make choices that change both the narrative and the world around you. The mission we're about to see is crucial for the narrative. The city is on the brink of destruction, as drinking water is just about to end. Our guide and friend, Frank, believes that the only person that can solve the drinking water problem is the Colonel, a man with a bad reputation, who leads
the Colonel. So, you know, we need a name for the super important guy in the game. The Colonel.
group called the Renegades from the city's pumping station.
Just a secco.
Frank uses his status to call a meeting between the Renegades and the officers from the two main factions that operate in the city. Our game's protagonist, Aiden Caldwell, is invited as well, and he's just about to join the others.
Dying Light 2. Thank you so much for the host badger. Much appreciated. Welcome. We're checking out Dying Light 2, the gameplay trailer, which shows actual gameplay after people in here stop talking. And fair warning, it's very graphically violent. They are smashing lots of zombies to bits. So if that's not your thing, come back in 10 minutes. Popcorn. Graphics are good, obviously. It's one of the upgrades. The first game looked awesome already.
Aiden, we need you. Renegades will be here any minute.
Infected? Maybe.
Damn. Where have you been?
You know that haircut? Looks like it's a Ubisoft game now.
Hey,
Around town.
drink. Need to rest?
No, I'm okay. I'll be okay.
Probably. Well, that's nicely done.
Wait, they don't know?
That we've run out of water? No, they don't.
Were you gonna tell them?
If we work things out with the Colonel, I won't have to.
What if we don't?
Then tomorrow, this place is done. Either way, tonight should be a party. Let's go get one. He's celebrating early. Cheers to you, Ed!
I hope the question marks can be turned off.
Where's the big guy? Is he late? Or is he just a dick?
Matt's upstairs, waiting.
You know this blows. Lola's last show, and here I am. Going to grovel with the butcher.
Matt, it's time. Let's go.
Matt?
I'm drinking.
This is why we're screwed. How's this fuckhead gonna get along with anyone?
Enough! Look, fellas, either the Colonel turns on his gold-plated taps, or we're all dead. So seeing as he's graciously agreed to talk, we're gonna dress up real nice and go to his island on our very best behavior. Now move your ass, Matt.
Only if I can kick head.
Off to the slaughter.
Negotiating. Oh. Oh. Upgrades. See, I'm not going to pause all the time, but compared to the first game had a very nice post-apocalyptic look to it, but it didn't look. It did look a bit empty. It had, you know, you would rush out of the door, and in some places at least, things were looking like they were placed. You know, this is where we place the house. Hey, Potrix, welcome. This is where we place the car. This is where we place the important car. Chris, welcome aboard. Hey, good to see you guys. Ahoy, welcome to Just Talking Games. First trailer is running. It's a gameplay trailer for Dying Light 2. And I'm just commenting on the fact that supposedly, if it keeps looking like this, I would say it's better than the first one from the looks of it. It looks a bit more believable even. The first one was already okay, but you could still make out the things that were placed there for a reason. Instead of just feeling like, okay, there's a bunch of cars here in the front of the tunnel, that's alright, because that happens. Like deliberate barriers to limit your movement and such. If they manage to pull it off, that you don't realize it in this game, then it's really open world, free movement, believable environment. They are really good at that. So it's definitely going to be an improvement, and it looks a bit more not cluttered with, like in Division 2, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, you know, you play multiplayer game that has so much luggage everywhere that you consider, okay, there are not enough people in the world to have that much luggage lying around. So where the hell does the luggage come from? It doesn't make any sense. It's a bit of immersion breaking. But it was conveniently placed everywhere to make sure that you get that people were running with their stuff, and then they had to leave the stuff behind. It's the message gets across. It's brought across with a sledgehammer, so fair enough. This looks a bit more believable. We will see if that's true or if that's just my first impression now. And Dying Light is an awesome game. I agree, absolutely. So we're hoping for a for an upgrade on the second game, which is not yet released. It was supposed to be released in spring this year. That's not going to happen. I'm guessing autumn. We'll see.
We're in the central part of the city, so-called District 2. The city is made up of 7 very different regions, and each one is a truly individual environment that introduces new parkour moves, enemies, and gameplay mechanics.
Aiden!
What, are you not going?
There's a lot of them down there. Things will get fucked up at the castle, I guarantee it. You got a plan B?
I'll improvise.
What if he improvises?
It'll work out.
You so sure about that?
Frank!
Fuck! Knew it!
Ooh. Okay.
Weapon modding makes a comeback in Dying Light 2. We have a modded weapon, so now let's find a good moment to use it.
Ooh. It was a bit too obvious that he knew that the attack would come, because he was like, I'm gonna hold my sword here because I'm pretty sure he's gonna attack. Scripted combat. But yeah, graphic violence, still a thing. Not for the faint of heart.
You get after those fuckers. I'll look after him.
What happened?
What happened? Those fucking renegades shot him. Where were you?
Aiden.
Hold still.
Ooh.
Hey, Aiden.
Catch that truck, or you would never get onto that island.
The first choice, chase the truck or stay with Frank.
Oh.
Just keep him alive.
Stay in contact. Now run! Damn it! Run!
Hold on, Frank.
Okay, let's chase the truck and see what consequences that brings.
Yeah, the narrator
truck
is not
gone,
good.
But this tall building looks like a great vantage point.
He's not the in-game narrator. He's a developer or, you know, PR person who's talking over the gameplay trailer. It does not help too much. But he's trying to point out some things that they want to focus on. And that would be the parkour and choices matter. And the choices you make in the game matter so much that they shape how the game world changes. So a bit like in the first game, but with a bit more impact, as far as I understood it.
We should use it.
Ooh, nice.
As you can see, life is booming on the rooftops, and this is something you can change by your actions and decisions.
Hey, have you found the truck yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, I'm running.
Matt,
Can you see the truck?
looking. That's Frank.
Can't find the doctor. But don't think about that now. I'm on it.
As December last year, I think, the gameplay trailer.
That's the Renegade's truck.
I have it. I'll get them for this, Matt.
Just keep your cool, kid. Remember, what matters is the water.
This calls for something special.
Oh, grappling hook.
Oh, shit.
Paraglider.
In Dying Light 2, we have doubled the number of parkour moves, so let's use some of them now.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think it's 2019 in August. It was the gameplay they wanted to show before the release, and at that time the release was still planned for early 2020. So like right about now. We'll see. Ooh. A drop kick.
We're working here.
Ah. Oh, with wall running. Okay. That's Assassin's Creed right there. I wonder how smooth it's controlled, but... Oh, crap. Hmm. Oh, nice. Wow, he can jump.
Look out!
No, it was a very awesome move. I'm not commenting on only stuff that's new. Oh. Oh, they're shooting arrows. Bastards. A Dark Zone convention house.
We're deep inside a dark zone. Let's run away quickly because the infection will kill us. UV flashlight, very strong, but needs to be aimed.
Oh, sweet move. That one. That's probably a one-timer, but it's okay. Yeah, I was thinking along the lines of Mirror's Edge.
Our stamina level seems to be too low to open it.
Ah, nice. Okay. Impact. He did drop into the party. I do like what we see here. It's footage from last year. So I'm not sure what the reason was to delay the release. I had the official page somewhere. Wait. Let's see if we can find out if there's a release date now. Nah. It's 15 years after the first game. And you can sign up for their newsletter. Yeah, what else would they be showing? Of course, they can only show what they have that's working. Now they are pretty quiet on the second game currently. Like, what do you mean? In general, all of them? That's not correct. Let's not go there. Let's not say all the trailers are bullshit. That's not it. Nah, but there's no release date yet. But they are still working on it. This is the community message from January. To our dedicated community, it was a busy year for us as we continued working on our biggest project to date. We know you're waiting the game eagerly and we want to deliver exactly what we promised. So, you know, we were initially aiming for a spring 2020 release with Dying Light 2, but unfortunately, we need more development time to fulfill our vision. And I think that's where you can be sure either that they really needed that or something went wrong or whatever, but they really want to deliver what they showed. So, fair enough. We will have more details to share in the coming months. Not yet, though. So I guess something went sideways. Yeah, I'm guessing it's autumn, quarter 3 or quarter 4 of this year. I'm not sure if they're gonna go for next year. That would be troubling. Oh yeah. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. The trailer is a 4K gameplay demo. I'm not sure what that means, so I'm just gonna expect that the game's gonna look good. Since we're watching in 1080p, so there's that. You're watching in 720p.
Yeah.
Infection progresses. Our biomarker is turning red.
Oh, the thing on our arm, yeah, that was shown a few times. Critical immunity. That's a counter.
Another way to use UV light is the UV flare. It covers a big area, but lasts only for a few seconds.
Okay. So, Mirror's Edge is spot on. Scripter, have you played the first Dying Light?
Matt! Come on, Matt, I lost it, Matt!
Wait. We've got a vision. Confirmed.
The outside looks really cool. It's an apocalypse where things actually keep growing, and that is, you know, I think it's a good thing to do. It's not like people die and trees stop to grow because, you know, nobody's looking at them anymore. It looks pretty good, I have to say. You haven't played the first one. I can really recommend it. It's a super good game. You can play it alone, you can play it in co-op. It has a decent story, fun parkour, and a nice skill system, and the combat is very satisfying. And it's quite fun, actually. So yeah, Dying Light 2.
They're heading onto the viaduct now.
Which viaduct?
Over the track.
Okay, on my way.
Be careful, Wade. The Colonel, he's a psycho. He doesn't mess around.
The Colonel's a psycho. Yeah, the first game does look good as well, but it's not nearly as good looking as this one. But it's still good looking for its age. It's quite old by now, all things considered. And the expansion is worth it, says Potrix. Ah, cool. Didn't know that. Badger, how could you get bored in Dying Light? That's impossible. How could... That's impossible. So yeah, that was the first one I wanted to show you. Dying Light 2 is something I'm looking forward to quite a bit. And it looks very promising, right? Reminds you of Prototype. Okay. because in Prototype you had the freedom of movement, right? You could run up walls and such, and it's, I mean, you don't have superpowers, but you're not no ordinary human either. The stuff that the characters do in Dying Light 1 and obviously also in 2, they are a bit not going for realism. Yeah, I know that. It was probably not the right time to play it. I recommend co-op. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's a pretty fun game. So Dying Light 2, we hope for a release soon. But mainly, I guess we all think that it's best if they release it in a finalized state and not in a buggy mess. Yeah, it has absolutely has some Mirror's Edge parkour in it. The first game had very nice parkour as well. So if you're not sure about getting the second game, you can get the first one pretty cheap by now, and test it out. I'm not sure if there's a sale going on at the moment. I have no idea. But yeah, it's a nice zombie game, and there are not too many currently. State of Decay 2 is my favorite zombie game. I'm gonna play that later today, tonight actually. Depending on how long we're looking at games and such. Probably after a break, I'm gonna switch to State of Decay. I might just fire up Dying Light if the State of Decay gets boring. No, you have some repetition in State of Decay. I'm not sure how long I want to stream it for, but so far it has been grand. It was one long stream, I think 7 hours. Couldn't really stop. I had to sleep, so that was the only reason I stopped. So there's that. Dying Light 2. Very awesome. Next up, something completely different. Last time in this chat show, in January, right? First day of the year, we talked about Amazon's massive multiplayer called New World. And back then we only had a trailer that was not showing much. It was really not showing much. It was like, yeah, we've got this magic, and then there's colonization people killing people and mystical monsters, and that was it. There was not really much in terms of mechanics. What does it do? How does it look? What do you want with it? The only thing that was clear was at that point already they switched from open PvP in the completely open MMO world they created there. So it's a massive multiplayer online game with role-playing features, and they had PvP everywhere, and they changed that completely. So now there's an explanation here from it's a recent last month, really. Yeah, you would like to see Dying Light on stream, huh? I think it's not the worst pick, actually. I think it's not the worst pick. I'm not going to stream it directly after State of Decay 2 because too much zombie is a bit squishy. But I can add it to the backlog if you're interested. I mean, Badger might need some convincing to play it again. Other people might be interested in seeing the first game before they decide to buy the second. So maybe in summer zombies, something like that. I'll keep it in mind, Portrix. Yeah, you second that script. Cool. It's good to know. So yeah, Amazon is doing games. You know that, right? Amazon's doing games. It's their thing. All over the place. Letter to the community, whoever that is, in March. Hello, New World Adventurers. We've been live with our latest alpha for over a month now, and it feels like the right time to send a letter. I didn't receive one. We've learned a lot, and we wanted to take a moment to update you on the state of New World's alpha and give you some insight to our future plans. That's where it gets interesting. Future plans. Thanks to all the players who should be paid for helping the development. The feedback on new features has been awesome, and players have helped us find bugs and new design opportunities. I will translate that the following. People told us that our game is crap and that we should change everything about it. You know, design opportunities that we wouldn't have pursued otherwise. Okay. Then there are some named players, which I think is completely besides the point. PvP, factions at war has been introduced, company versus company, capture the flag, blah, blah, blah. It's all very boring. So the new features are a massive supernatural world that actively confronts the players that attempt to conquer it. What does that mean? It's an open world with fantasy stuff in it, right? There's magic and you can set things on fire. Skill-based combat that is tactical and deep at any scale. That makes more sense if you know what they're talking about. There's player versus player, and there's also a lot of players versus a lot of players. So there's sort of a battlefield combat system in this game, which is very interesting. And what they changed is, and that's coming here, they want PvP and PvE. And PvP is optional. They say. What nobody knows is, do you get the best gear in PvP? Or can you get all the gear in both game modes? That will be the downfall or the success of this game. If you can only get the best gear for whatever class in only one game mode, they'll piss off at least half of the players. Because a forced PvP sucks. All the games out there, all the survival games, all the MMOs where you are forced to have player versus player engagements, they suck so hard that nearly nobody enjoys it except the people who are high level and kill all the rest. It's super boring, nobody wants it, nobody needs it. It has to be a choice, and they changed it in that way. So that was the point where I thought, hey, cool. They didn't only listen to the player feedback that said, we want better PvP. Right? And they didn't go for what Fallout 76 actually completely destroyed. When they were like, yeah, okay, but we don't have single player in it. And people were like, what? You what? There's no meaningful single player engagement? It's interesting. So they sort of turned around with New World. Obviously, they're still in alpha. That means we're looking at, I don't know, 2021, 2022. They've got another release plan. I think they want to release earlier, but it's not going to happen. They turned around the whole plan twice now. And I think for the better, actually. We'll see. There might be PvP exclusive gear, as in it's only useful in PvP. And if you get that only in PvP, that's okay. I don't mind. I don't want to play versus others, so I don't care. But in some games, you only get the best stuff in player versus player content, and I don't want that. So for me, games that focus too much on player versus player, I don't play them. Just not for me. So that you know, it doesn't bother other people. Of course, I'm just talking about my expectations here. So here, some of the key motivations for player versus player are better rewards. If I read stuff like that, I think, what do you want to tell me? Is it a PvE game or not? Can I get the cool stuff or not? What they say here is that they want PvP players to benefit from the work of PvE players and the other way around. That's interesting. Especially that they call it work. Factions, crafting, town projects, town progression, war, corrupted breaches, influence, missions, and soon invasions. They are all different play styles, and they will complement each other and enable players to get better gear, deal with problems in the game, accomplish missions, and grow their characters, territories, and skills together. So guild gameplay is going to be supported, focused, promoted even, right? Player versus player is definitely something they want people to do. And their plan is to have a seamless open world MMO with a mix of sandbox and directed style gameplay. So you got quests you can more or less freely explore. They're not trying to build an MMO theme park. And then they've got player examples. One who has hit the maximum level with over 700 quests, and the other one who reached level 60 also, but only with 38 quests on the way. So quests are not absolutely mandatory, apparently. That's interesting. I think that's interesting, that you can choose how many quests you want to do, right? Then they were doing some balancing, which is super not important in alpha. We are seeing this work through town projects and faction missions, and we expect the influence race will entice some PvE players to dip their toes into the PvP pool. And this is again a point where I think, okay, so you are going to force us into PvP, are you not? Because they created these huge scale combat situations, right? There are like 100 players versus another 100 players. It's massive. And if you don't want that, you miss out on, and there's going to be a list. And if that list is too long, the PvE players will not come. They'll stick to Elder Scrolls. So it's super interesting to follow this development. How Amazon with their New World game went twice around the pole already and changed what they wanted to release after it was finished. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm not super eager to get into another massive multiplayer game. But if they hit the mark, it could be interesting. The setting is a fantastic version of the colonization of South America, I think. But it's an alternate history full of fantasy stuff, right? So it's hopefully not super stupid, and hopefully more focused on fun than on trying to be something. I don't know. We will see. We'll see. New World is definitely something I'm keeping my eye on. Not only because I might just enjoy the game in the end, but also because I find it very interesting how a big company like Amazon tries to make heads or tails of a genre that has not seen anything big since Elder Scrolls Online in the western parts of the world, or in the US and European areas. Let's put it like that, because there are Korean and Chinese and Japanese massive multiplayer games that we can't access, and they are massively popular. So take that into consideration. But yeah, I find it a super interesting thing. I think it's very important for other games that are being developed to see how huge companies pull it off, what they do, if they make the same mistakes as small studios do, for example. That's one of the reasons I follow this. But it could also be a fun game. I'm not super hopeful or hyped or excited for this one, but I find it rather interesting how they try to move around a community and a potential community and try to make something that's fun and worthwhile for them, because in the end they want to earn money with it. As far as I know, it's going to be pay to play. So you buy the game and then you can play. No monthly anything. That remains to be seen. Very, very open. It's super okay if they have PvP and PvE next to one another. It's just if they exclude each other. They talk about how they want to unite them, but all I read is that they want to entice the PvE players to take part in the player versus player content. And in my experience, that turns to shit every time. But that's me being a bit negative, because I just don't care for player versus player content. I think it's stupid, it's barely ever fun, and badly balanced in general. The trailer is very awesome. Is that we can watch it. Let's watch it. It's a cool trailer. I have to agree with Chris. I don't want to see wallpapers. I don't want to see people talking. Is this the one? No, I want what? Where's your trailer here? Aha. Minecraft. Yes, that's true.
Peggy 16.
It is an eternal island of legend, a place of unimaginable beauty, and a growing evil, where the forces of death and life are in constant conflict. For centuries, many have come in search of its power. Only to fall to its corruption. By the promise of power and immortality, the darkness will claim you. Do you really want to live forever?
So next month, I'm curious if that's going to work out. I think they are not useless, but I know what you mean. I think they are not useless. That's not the word I would use. What they do with these trailers, and Blizzard, hey son, welcome. The old Blizzard, they have been, and they still are, remembered by many, many, many people, including me, for making awesome trailers and video, in-game video. I think the reasoning behind it is you want to make people get what your vision is. And I'm talking mostly about the developers here and not about the publishers. You want to transport the picture in your mind to the people out there who don't yet have a picture in their mind of the game. They probably have an idea what it could be, but and you can't do that just with gameplay footage. If you have any at that point. Most of the time, you don't have any gameplay footage that the publisher wants to let out. The developers would probably do it. If early access and Kickstarter and small indie studios shows one thing is that developers don't really fear the opinion of the customer. Quite the opposite. Sometimes they rely on it, sometimes they rely on it too much. But they absolutely enjoy getting feedback. all sorts of feedback, constructive, positive, negative, doesn't matter. It has to be constructive. That's what they want. That's what they need. That's why there's alpha, beta testing, open, closed, and so on and so on. And these trailers, they are sort of a placeholder. From a publisher perspective, it's obviously to get people to buy the game or be interested in the game. But it's not only the publisher involved in making these trailers. You can't forget that. The motivation might be focused on the money cash, right? It's like, buy our game. It's going to look like awesome. But it always includes, and I'm just saying this because it's truly something I believe, it always includes the vision, what they want to transport, what they love about their game, what they think would be very enjoyable for you as a customer, as a player. And so it's not useless. It's absolutely not useless. It might be useless for you as a customer because you want to see gameplay. That might be correct, but it's not that all these trailers are useless. No. Oh yeah, Deceiver of the Gods. We could listen to that. I get in trouble then though. They are not transporting a lot of information about the game. That is correct. CGI trailers do not transport a lot of information about the actual game. That's the thing. So if you want to do research before you buy a game, don't watch those trailers. Those trailers are more for getting you in the zone. Is it something where you enjoy the theme? Is it a setting that you find interesting? And such, right? So, you know. Of course you can pre-order an Amazon game. Do you think they will say, oh, sorry, we can't release it? Of course they will release it. Of course you can pre-order it. You can pre-order Cyberpunk. You could pre-order Borderlands 3. Not that I would ever advise someone to do a pre-order. Doesn't make much sense. Yeah, Chaos Sun. That's it. That's it. You research in a way that leaves you with enough information. Obviously, watching one CGI trailer, it doesn't give you anything in terms of is there satisfying PvP combat in the game. You can't find that out in an ad, right? Yeah, pre-ordering is always a blind purchase, isn't it? It's always. It's pre-order Steam key. Okay, so New World. We'll keep our eye on that if we're interested in that. If not, we just ignore it. Next up, something completely different. Hey, Mikios, welcome. You can pre-order a game like 2 hours before release if you want. But then you have seen more than a CGI trailer. Someday you'll return,
I
it says.
never wanted you to come here. You make everything so hard. I wish you'd stayed away.
Why are you here?
I'm looking for my daughter. She got lost.
You seem lost. Maybe someone should be looking for you. You better hurry, Daniel. You know how fast it gets dark here.
Having a dad like you, why run away? Oh, Daniel. It's so nice you dropped in.
Check your cell phone.
need to help Stella get out of here. She doesn't deserve my kind of hell.
That's very soon. The type of game featuring MacGyver. It's no, it's not VR. It probably has VR release as well. I don't know. They are not marketing it as VR. I think it's not. But what it is a story-driven first-person adventure game. People call them walking simulators, I think. I'm not sure why people call them that, because they are not simulating walking at all. Have you played Firewatch? Or do you know what Firewatch is? Ah, okay. It's similar but different. In Firewatch, you explore an area. You have interaction with someone who's not really visible. You have off-screen narration, sort of. It's a story-driven thing. It also is driven by the exploration part. This adds a bit more. Psychological horror, it says here. Right? So there's a twist to it. There's a mind twist to it. Obviously, there was also some perception that was not really the real world or anything like that. There was stuff going on that was hard to explain, right? So it's a suspense storytelling spooky thing. And I think it might just be very good. And I just wanted to let you know, if that's your kind of game, you could put that on your watch list. You know, someday you'll return. I think it's worth looking out for it. It's going to be released in 10 days. Yeah, spooky stuff. I hope that's going to be true. I didn't check with the developer. See, it has been delayed. May the 5th. So its release is May the 5th. They say here due to they had to leave office, basically. May the 5th be with you. Yes, and the 6th. Death Stranding. Yeah. Not for me either. The people... Oh, that might be interesting. Someday You Return is made by the people who made Julia Among the Stars. You can now... Why is Maze on sale? Maze shouldn't be on sale. That is broken in so many ways. No, it's such a broken game. I mean, I finished it. I'm not gonna tell you to not buy it, but I'm also not gonna tell you to buy it. It has its quirky, weird moments. I found it lacking in too many departments. But it had some fun moments. I'll give it that. Have you played Black Mesa already? So, Someday You Return? Right, you got that? Black Mesa. It's been in development for 20 years, I think.
Good morning and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. Now arriving at like you're in the barrel today.
The trailer is bollocks.
Sustaining sequence. It's not shutting down.
At 9:47 a.m., a disaster has occurred at the Black Mesa Research Facility. A full quarantine has been issued for the Black Mesa area.
System now under military command.
Soldiers have arrived. They're coming to rescue us.
We should probably wait a while. Let things die down a bit.
The alien species can't possibly all be hostile, can they?
Don't bet on it. You have any idea they were working on this kind of stuff? You don't still think this is a drill, right?
You must get to the Lambda Lab before it's too late.
It's time to choose.
They finally did it. It's a modding project behind this. Yeah, but that was the early access. There was half the stuff was missing. Half the stuff was missing. Last month, they released the complete 1.0 Black Mesa experience. Yup. So it's a recent release, obviously. There was early access. I bought it 2 years ago, I think, to support what they were doing, because this is Half-Life reimagined and a bit upgraded. The first Half-Life game. If you have never played the first Half-Life game, and I do remember it as well, Chaos Sun, Black Mesa is worth it. It's a visually impressive, quite impressive piece of work. Although, considering how long they worked on it, it's about friggin' time that they released it. But I think they ran into various issues with the engine needing upgrades and such over the years. And it's an international team of a lot of people trying to work together on this huge ass project. So for that reason alone, it's super interesting to check it out. I'm not sure if I would recommend it for €18, but you know, it's not $60, so that's fair enough. I think it's amazing that they finished it, and I'm gonna play it. I'm not sure if I stream it. I'm actually not sure if I will stream it, but it's a very, very important achievement if you look at it like this. There's a bunch of modders and people who are interested in Half-Life or enjoyed the first game, and they've been working for years, for decades, on this, and they finished it, and they delivered. The source version is also okay, Chaos Sun. Yeah. The source version is also okay, but I would play the original over the source version, and this one over the source version as well. I'm not sure if I play Black Mesa 1 over the original. Kind of hard to tell, because back then it looked impressive. If I look at the first Half-Life now, I get tears in my eyes because I can't really see between the blocks. It's old. Hey, Von Blasher, welcome. Who's a chatterbox? Gordon Freeman is the chatterbox. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good day. So yeah, Black Mesa. If you thought it wasn't finished, now you know. And if you had it and forgot about it, now it's the time to pick it up and play it. Buffering? Oh no! Didn't we get quality options today? I didn't check, honestly. Oh, we didn't. I'm sorry. I think the European servers are being hit hard. I couldn't stream yesterday. I had such a bad connection to the Twitch server. No, and it's on Mikhail's end. But yeah, I'd gladly give you quality options if I could. So, I just wanted to quickly point out that Black Mesa has been released and you should play it. Full stop. We have looked at this well, in January. And I'm going to show the trailer again, and then we're going to talk about Wasteland 3. The trailer's awesome.
Hello everyone out there in the wasteland. On today's show I want to talk to you about our world.
I must have dreamed 1,000 dreams.
The world you see now is a very scary place.
Haunted by a million screams.
Democracy, equality, and freedom all died when the bombs fell. And we've been walking on their ashes ever since.
Into the night.
Especially here in Colorado.
There's too many men, too many people making too many problems.
The three children of our patriarch are even more ruthless than he is. We live in a society built on violence.
Can't you see this is the land of confusion?
But it wasn't always like this. Over 100 years ago, everything was different. I believe we can get back there if we fight this oppression. If we are fearless against the evils of the world, we can be everything we were in 1987. That's our show for the day. Tune in tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the dangers of cannibalism.
Can't you see?
And that's how you do a trailer, isn't it? Oh, asparagus for dinner. Nice. Nice. You didn't finish Wasteland 2. I get a game-breaking bug in the middle. I couldn't continue. I still have to restart it because now that's fixed. And I can finish it, actually. I'm not sure if I would get bored of it. I do absolutely enjoy this type of game. It's a role-playing game with tactical combat that has decent or better writing. It doesn't need voice acting, in my opinion, but, you know, that's different for others. And the thing with Wasteland 3 is that it will improve upon what 2 did. That's, you know... I thought I had the developer homepage prepped. In Exile, right? August 2020. We have to wait for a bit. Wasteland 2 has been released in 2014, so 6 years later. They come with Wasteland 3. And don't we get a link to the page here? Oh yeah, there it is, official website. So in August, right? August 28. They had planned to release in May, I think. Yeah. Yeah. US Wastelands. Huh. Okay. Fair enough. I wanted to explain why I think that the trailer is nicely done. The trailer combines fancy camera moves, fancy in-game content, a good choice of music, and a bit of a wink, you know, wink of the eye. I think it's a good thing to do that. There are some screenshots here that you can check out. But what they do is you've got a vehicle to drive around, a more fluid action system compared to the second game. It's still party-based combat, so that's not super different. You can play co-op though. I'm not sure that I don't think the second one offered that, so you can co-op the campaign, much like in Beyond Divinity. I was about to say Original Sin 1 and 2. Right, you can co-op the campaign. You have a base that you manage, and it's Colorado, so there was no co-op in the second one, right? Yeah, see, that's a new one. And they've got a new dialogue system that is fully voiced. That's enough for me to buy it. It's gonna be a good good experience. And now that they had to release later than planned, due to not being able to work in the office, actually, I have got some time to play the second game. But yeah, I think it's a promising thing. They've been doing much better with the keeping in touch with the community than with the second game. And what remains to be seen is how many bugs remain, because the second game had a few bugs way after release still, and I was like, yeah, not the biggest fan of that. You know, inXile has a bit of a history with buggy releases. I'm looking at Bard's Tale 4. Numenera was okay, actually. Numenera was okay. So yeah, we'll see about that. But I trust them to deliver a decent or better role-playing experience. And I don't mind where the post-apocalyptic setting is, actually. I don't really care. So Mikhails, you're satiated on the post-apocalyptic US of A, with or without zombies. Yeah, I mean, the base building is probably something that keeps the people from getting lost too much, I think. Yeah. For example, Neverwinter Nights 2 had it, and it was awesome. Yeah, because I know. But I always, feel like the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they learned from past mistakes. Right. So now we come to something else. X4. We talked about that on stream actually the other day. Had a patch for the main game and a DLC release. It's called Vendetta. Split Vendetta. reviews have been going through the roof since the patch for the main game. Apparently the DLC has been nicely received as well. Oh, that looked badass. That didn't. I knew it. That's what I would have shown the second time. That's what I would have shown the second time. So, X4. From the top of my head, that trailer is made for people who already played the previous games and who already played X4. This is not a trailer to get new people in. Because it already focused so much on the updates and upgrades that as a new player you think, okay, what's this about? Am I in space? Am I what's going on? So it's a launch trailer for the update 3.0 and the DLC. And if you're clueless about the game, you stay clueless about the game after watching this. But I wanted to especially show this because I read a few reviews. And it sounds promising. X4 is a single player universe sandbox. And it's really a type of game that you have to be invested into. You can't just casually play that on the side. You saw maybe, let's go back to that. The user interface from hell. Let's build an engine, but which one? Right? And then you have the contacts, ships. So if you've got a huge as space empire already, this is how your business map looks like. And your own stuff could be on this side. So the user interface is still tiny, lots of information. It's a game that can be a space pirate simulator, but it can also be a space empire simulator. So you can have your trade imperium or something, or you can be a police state taking care of security all over 2 sectors in space or something like that. So scale is somehow also up to the player. It's a bit like you can decide how much of this you want. You can also fly around and shoot things. That's pretty decent. It has been decent in the previous games. You found that X4 was disappointed because of the bugs and design issues. Yeah. From what I heard, it's been mostly fixed with 3.0. Mikios, maybe check out some of the reviews. If you know where to find good reviews, that is. Either you scroll through Steam until you find a good one, or you look in a different place. Yeah, yeah. Chaos Sun, before you buy X4, you and me both, I will wait for some footage. I'll watch some streams with the new update and see if it's in a good state now. Yeah, Beyond the Frontier, huh? Nice. Which one was not your thing? Rebirth, yeah, okay. I understand. Metro Exodus is a good game, yeah, I have to play it. But first, I have to play the second one. It's on the backlog. Put it on the wheel. Come on. Yeah, Tim Curry is you know, he has to escape further now. Very much further. You can fight capitalism if you want in space in the X4. That's definitely a thing. So I was showing this mainly to say, okay, there's been a patch for the main game and there's been an expansion. And for those who are interested in X4, maybe check it out again. Or for those who dropped it after buying it because they thought, well, this is a bug-ridden hellfest, maybe it's worth a second look now, right? Just also to point out that I follow space games. I'm a fan. I just don't stream them much. Yeah, Vendetta is 2 weeks old, I think. Yeah, maybe they added a better tutorial. I'm not sure. Oh, last week. Vendetta and the patch was last week. Sorry, not 2 weeks ago. Their days are too short. There's not enough time. But it's definitely one of the better space games. If you are into space games, the X series is good. Not every part of it. Take that with a grain of salt. Here are some features. The 3.0 update for the main game. That's not exclusive to the Split Vendetta DLC. Diplomatic missions. I think that's awesome. They added a new storyline, new systems to discover, and even in their forums, everything is tiny. It's like, is that font size 8? Or is that already 6? I'm not sitting in front of a huge ass TV that's 8 meters away, right? They improved the graphics engine, they improved the sound effects, the menus, including the map, the encyclopedia, and the logical station overview, have been improved. More control over drones and turrets, alternative steering methods, including head tracking, and X3 retro mode. Yeah, that's a community request. Standalone tutorial scenarios. Badger, see. There's something. Yeah, the first streams I saw, that might have been before release though. But the first streams of X4 I saw were horrible. Nothing was working. But it's just, I might misplace it. It might have been before release. I might have seen an early access stream. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, this is just very small in the forums. I'm not sure why they do that. Maybe they've got very good eyesight. But yeah, Badger, there are new tutorials. Maybe, you know, standalone tutorial scenarios, so you're not ruining your playthrough or anything like that. Some new ships, different game starts that you can unlock. Your crew gets smarter quicker. And you can dock in your spacesuit. It's Elite calling. It's Elite calling. But yeah, X4, the cursed thing. Shut your eyes and listen to my voice. The fonts are small. The world is big. X4 is going to be very, very interesting for me at some point. But I agree with what Chaos-san said. I'm going to have a look before I buy. I'm guessing that's going with Dying Light into the summer area. You have to earn 5 billion trillion credits. Walks in space to dock and needing a reload. What? I don't know. Completely different game genre. From space to class reveal in Torchlight 3. Torchlight 3, by the way, also a game, much like New World, that turned around completely. They were going massive multiplayer online game. And they decided to stop doing that. I didn't expect it. I thought, okay, Torchlight, I think it was called Frontiers, might just not be for me because they tried to make an MMO out of it. What? They stopped doing it. They decided, now we're not doing it. It's not what we want anymore. So they revealed the first class. Shooter. Sharpshooter. Sorry. Cleavage. Also featured. Head build. It has bows and guns. I do like that. No! Why so negative, Poetrix? There's no reason for that. I think it's super cool that they finally talk about the classes in the game, since they decided to not make it an MMO. It's very Torchlighty. It's very Torchlighty. It really looks like 2. And sounds like 2, which is not the best thing ever, but we'll see. They started as free-to-play MMO, yeah. Yeah. It's way after the second one. The second one was you know, Torchlight is not like anything else though. It's a steampunky fantasy mix. The other thing that comes close to it would be Van Helsing. Van Helsing, though, from its setting and feel and design, is completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. Steampunk, and that's it. I mean, there was Silverfall in the early 2000s, but nobody played that. But you don't have to like it. That's not what I meant. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for it. I'm not sure what the current release date is actually. It says 2020 here. Let's have a look if that's still true. Rekindle the Flame, yeah. They are catering towards the Torchlight 2 players. Absolutely. It's rather obvious actually. Class reveal January 28th. We've changed from free-to-play to premium, removed horizontal progression, supported a new beta story, added new bosses, dramatically improved the character leveling monster, blah 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 blah, added an Act 3 to the game. It says here it's coming in 2020, but there's no date on it. I guess it's probably late 2020. Oh yes, oh yes. You know what I would enjoy? If Blizzard had decided to not do Diablo 4, but instead make a StarCraft action role-playing game. Be brave, be bold, do something new in a place that's not really filled up with more fantasy role-playing games, like you pointed out. Oh, Albion would be awesome. I agree, Mikhails. Yeah, Albion would be good. Or Whale's Voyage. But yeah, why not do StarCraft as an action role-playing game? It's super obvious. It's the most obvious thing ever. The obvious... maximize the obvious. Right? So many things you could do with that. You could even make that an massive multiplayer action role-playing game. That would work. In StarCraft, you have enough stuff. You don't need to invent it. You know, you don't have to, I like this faction, doesn't like this faction because there's some weird background that has to do with some fantasy stuff and there's good and evil in sorts. You could just say, okay, this is the StarCraft universe. Pff, go for it. Video's fine, audio's cutting out. Mikhails, I'm sorry. I can't really help out with that. I wish I could. I really wish I could. Yeah, bold moves, right? They can't afford it, maybe. But I mean, you know, Poetrix, Yumi, and a lot of others would probably agree that a science fiction or sci-fi action role-playing game would be in higher demand just for the sake of it not being fantasy based. Deviant Fish would also play one. See? The thing is, I'm not sure how many people would agree with that. And if you, as a publisher or as a developer or both, would say, okay, have there been any science fiction action role-playing games lately? And people would say, yeah, there was a Warcraft, a Warhammer one, a Warhammer 40k one, and it sucked because it was too buggy and the studio was too small and they had to release too early and they didn't have the money to do it. Or in short, it was another 40k release, typical, really. That's it. There was nothing else. There has to be a market for it. There has to be a market for it, especially if you build on an established franchise like StarCraft. Of course, it would be more interesting, Chaos Sun, to see something that is not based on an established franchise. So not StarCraft, but science fiction. What could be interesting as a story-based role-playing game in space would be if you take Ian Banks' culture and make that into a role-playing game. But you can't make it an action role-playing game. That's not how it works. I mean, you could probably. There's enough there to go on, but yeah. Investors are afraid of trying out something new. Yeah, maybe. So Badger and Chris would be the two people who would not play it. That's okay. We still love you. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, Poetrix. Developers are afraid trying something new. Yeah. Deviant Fish, right? There's not much going on. There's just the Warhammer 40k. Inquisitor Martyr was really missing its mark. It was not bad. Completely bad, but it was also not completely good. It was okay-ish. I sort of played it a bit, but I sort of lost interest soon. I don't know. Why is she wearing clothes at all? Seriously. But yeah, Torchlight. I'm gonna I'm gonna look at that on occasion to find out when they will release it. They say 2020, so I hope it's gonna be 2020. We'll see. Yeah. Stretching legs. Back in a bit. Okay, cool. See you later. A game that I haven't played yet, but that I have only heard good things about is Control. And Control just got an expansion. And we're gonna have a look at that.
Trench is dead. I'm the only one left. Well, orders are orders, even if they come from a dead man.
What's that? Ooh. That looks so badass, doesn't it? Holy crap.
What a mess.
Okay. Yeah, that's a trailer that shows a bit of gameplay and a bit of holy crap moments. It's the expansion for Control. I'm super sure that I will enjoy it. You're currently playing it, right, Potrix? Yeah. Wingardium Leviosa. Yes, yes. Oh, awesome. So yeah, it's just Control got an expansion. It's out on Xbox One in June, and it has been released last week on PlayStation 4 and PC. Control is something I really want to play. I'm not spoiling anything because I have no idea what's in the expansion. I just wanted to point it out that it got an expansion, right? So I think the release of Control was a bit overshadowed by the fact that people were still hating on the Epic Game Store for the sake of hating on it. They didn't really have any particularly good reason to do it, and yeah. RTV8 Fish, you're not supposed to tell. Come on. Control was in Humble Bundle. No. It was not. It was not. It's still pretty decently priced, I guess, at $35 on the Humble store if you got the monthly or choice or whatever it's called now. I'm gonna wait a bit until I play it, but the fact that it got an expansion this quick is a good sign. I want to see expansion 2 because they named it expansion 1, right? So there's gonna be expansion 2, obviously, at some point. Next up. Oh yeah, Control. Stop me if I'm going too fast. Yeah, Steam's probably not going to suggest it because it's still exclusively Epic, isn't it? Yeah. Badger, are you back? Because I wanted to wait with Mortal Shell until you were back. Because that's the next one. Ah, right, of course, it's on the Humble Store. I just said it myself. You're in the kitchen. Alrighty. I'm gonna wait until you're back. I'm actually gonna hop for the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. And after the very short break, we'll look at the very short trailer for Mortal Shell. A very fresh April the 1st. The trailer has been released. And I'll be right back with more games and more Chatterbox time.
the shell of my colossus, I can reach my certainty. So long I waited for a chance to prove I was right. Don't let me down now when my fists are clenched for the fight. I wanna feel that power surge. Two minds that will make too much. Don't make me Mr. Rush. Take me to the crush. I wanna hear that roaring sound. When I walk I will shake the ground. Don't make me Mr. Rush. Take me to the crush. Yeah. Take me to the crush. Yeah, I wanna feel that power surge. Two minds that will make too much. Don't make me Mr. Rush. Take me to the crush. I wanna hear that roaring sound. When I walk, I will shake the ground. Don't make me Mr. Rush. Take me to the crush. Take me to the crush. Don't make me miss that rush. Yeah. Take me to the crush.
And back. The Ghost Blisters? Who are the Ghost Blisters? Is my chat broken again? Need I double check? No, looks good. Okay. Very good. Yeah, quick break was necessary. Coffee needed to go places. Welcome back, Badger. The Ghost Blisters. Controls very fun, it runs nicely. Cool. That's alright. Nonsense is very, very welcome. This one, Mortal Shell, Badger pointed it out. That might be interesting to check out. So here you go. Thanks for pointing it out.
You seem different. Untouched by false truths. Will you pry these gifts from the unwilling? Or will you let them rot? Bring the glands back to me. An empty shell. Flesh and instinct without purpose.
Mortal Shell. I think there's a twist in there. It seems to have weighty high combat, high feedback combat, as in the newer installations of what people call Souls-like. Yeah. But I think it's more dynamic, dark, very dark. But it looks like there's a twist to it. With a more dynamic combat in between, at least. But yeah, it looked a bit like Dark Souls. I didn't see much of the dodgy stuff though. The rolling around like an idiot. I didn't see too much of that. Yeah, bring the glands to me. That is like, seriously? And then the trailer is very impressive looking, and I think some of it was gameplay footage. So, you know, I'm down to for testing these games. We'll play Dark Souls 1, the remastered version. So, yeah. That one here, yeah, I watched it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good watch. If you're into 40k stuff, that is. If you're not into Warhammer 40k, it's pretty stupid to watch. But yeah, Mortal Shell sounds and looks very grim, and it might just be a fresh take on Dark Souls and not another repeat. We don't need another repeat. I think they might just add to the existing genre by having a bit more of a spin on the combat. You know, like take the good and add some more new things. So yeah, let's have a look. MortalShell.com. Is there a release date? What? 1? How old is the captain? Very valid data. Where to buy? Aha! Coming in the third quarter of 2020. Yeah, exactly, Badger. You're right. You're right. Beta testing. You can try to get signed up for that. A deep action RPG that tests your sanity and resilience in a shattered world. It has a strategic, deliberate, and unforgiving combat. And that is basically the good part of Dark Souls. Yeah, I hope you get a spot in the beta testing, because then you can let us know if it's good or not. The anima of defeated warriors are yours to discover. Inhabit these mortal shells and open your understanding to the unique masteries of combat. You possess lost warriors. And that's, I think, the spin on it. You sort of acquire shells and learn. You can upgrade. Your connection to each mortal shell grows stronger, the better you can harness their talents. Venerable weapons, sharpen your iron with acid and magic. What is... Oh, okay. Is that a troll? Formidable foes. Face formidable foes. I'm you know, I can appreciate something like this. Face formidable foes. Defeat devastating deities. I like it. Your path is guarded by desperate adversaries devoted to inscrutable gods. Behold creatures both pitiable and grotesque, but do not let fear hold your journey. I want to see if there's something from the trailer in the screenshots. No, it's not. Okay. Something I saw in the trailer that I think might just be the spin on the genre that I thought. I have not played Code Vein. I can't compare them. So yeah, Mortal Shell. For those of you into Dark Souls-y stuff, but I might cut the game short if I say it like that. I don't think it's just for people who enjoy Dark Souls. Maybe it's for people who didn't enjoy Dark Souls but want something similar. that's not Dark Souls, as in proper controls, proper user interface. That would be very welcome compared to Dark Souls, which is really crap in that department. So yeah, we'll see. Mortal Shell, third quarter of this year. Now, next up is Iron Harvest. This is a trailer from the August of last year. Maybe we get something more recent. Release date is September the 1st. September the 1st this year. It's delays. Yeah. Delays everywhere. Backup beta has been delayed. Okay, it has gotten good feedback so far. Some people were already extensively playtesting it. Code Vein is collecting blood codes, and each one is a different playstyle and has unique skills to level up and such. That sounds at least similar, yeah. That sounds at least similar. It's not a bad concept either. I mean, for that type of game, it could work. So you don't only find weapons, you also find skills. Gives you a bit more room for different approaches.
Peggy 18.
We were all busy with our own small lives. Didn't know what went on in secret. Didn't see the war coming. They said the war would be won within months. An adventure promising pride and honor. In the end, it would be 5 years. Years of torment and horror, like the world had never seen before. The Great War, that was supposed to end all wars, is over. While in secret, the seed is sown for the next war. But this time, we're vigilant, and we'll fight.
September the 1st, Iron Harvest. Let's see if we can get
Peggy 18.
Shush. Gameplay. That's what I wanted. So, as you can see, it's a strategy game. That's footage from the alpha. But what is not apparent from the from this footage. Now maybe it's later in the video. Let's see. Yeah, tooting your own horn, that is always a bad idea. More footage. So that's just a very long outro. Iron Harvest is not a grand scale strategy game like you would think. You're actually in the role of revolution fighters, rebel fighters who are sabotaging and trapping the enemy, laying traps for the enemy, not trapping them. So you're sort of outgunned, outnumbered, and you have to find different solutions to overcome the overpowering enemy. It doesn't really look like that, but that's what I could find out by reading a review from someone who tested the current version of it. Company of Heroes. I haven't played that. What's Company of Heroes like?
Los geht die Geschichte.
Okay. Let's... Is there like an official? I hate that in for the iPad. No base building and such. Yeah, exactly. That's similar. That's similar in Iron Harvest. It's like Dawn of War, okay. Dawn of War was different though. So yeah, it's not your classic real-time strategy where you build a base, build robots, and kill the enemy. It's different. That's basically what I wanted to point out. Yeah. Behind enemy lines. So, classic real-time strategy is not really what this is. They say that it is that. Oh, apparently you build bases. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were not doing that. Okay, I stand corrected. Beyond enemy lines? Mikhails? Hey, say it, welcome. Now this is probably not it. Base building, but you don't have gatherers like in the old school stuff. Yeah. Let's look at Company of Heroes too. Yeah, I'm really 800 years old, so stop bothering me, please. So they made a movie or a game? Is there a game footage?
There is no shadow of doubt that our allied axis in. Fire main gun! This is where we turn the tide for forward, men! Hurrah! Good luck to each one.
Yeah, that's not for me. That doesn't look very interesting, to be honest. And as far as I understood it, Iron Harvest is doing something different, but I'm not so sure now. Thank you so much. I'm trying to keep hydrated, you know, that helps. Okay. So I have to check on Iron Harvest and find out if I mixed up the games or something. But from what I read, it was more like a squad-based, like an intervention team or something. A bit like Commandos, but in real time. But I might just maybe I just mixed up the games or something. But right now it looks like Company of Heroes is yet another type of game, and they all are claiming they are real-time strategy games. So it's a bit like with roguelike. It's all a roguelike, but yeah, they might just all be very different from one another. There's that. Gravity Team Tactics. Okay. Okay. Did you hear anything about Iron Harvest then, Sid? It's probably not on your radar then. Just in case. Yeah, I've played Dawn of War. It's like Dawn of War then. Face to face on a tabletop with fiddly little pieces that can move around. Yeah, I understand. I understand. No, I played the first Dawn of War. It's not so long ago that I played it actually. Where you have like a limited pool of resources. And you don't send out workers to whatever, collect magic blue stones. Okay. So you have to win with clever placement and limited resources. Yeah. Torchlight always did everything different, as different as you can be if you're still in the same genre. They always have. They've rarely been copied. Van Helsing took a lot of Torchlight. Copied it. Medium success only. Torchlight is very much like Diablo. It's a column of, no, a pillar of the genre. It's one of the things that stands out because it has its own thing, its own drive, its own dynamic, its own systems. Yeah, Van Helsing was, you know. And there are not a dozen other games, Sid. I mean, I know what you mean. We talked about it earlier. What do we need? Where's the market for yet another fantasy game? That is obviously not wrong. You can look at it like that, but I prefer to approach it from the other side and actually think, okay, if they make yet another, they better bring something that's fun. If it's fun, I don't mind if it's the 25th repetition, because at some point, complete innovation becomes really hard to pull off. And if you're expecting that, you will be left with no fun at all, because you can't find it anywhere. you know. The Space 4X games that try to emulate Masters of Orion without really adding anything new. Okay. Well, if I look at Masters of Orion, I really have to say that it looks like shit compared to today's games. But you probably mean in terms of mechanics. You probably mean in terms of mechanics, because we have to talk about both. There's a visual upgrade. There's a reinventing of old stuff. There's just upgrading old stuff. There is taking old stuff and making it interesting again with a new mechanic. So you're not talking about graphics. So if you want innovation in the genre to be interested in it, I get that. I get that. But it's, I mean, then you really are left in an area where there's a lot of nothing, because there's not much innovation going on. You could probably take Ancestors. Was it called that? Ancestors? Where you are an ape person? Being? Badger, you bought the game. If you're still around. That was different. That was innovative, as far as I could tell from looking at it. Disco Elysium and the Obra Dinn. They were something new. It's kind of hard to pull off, but they were storytelling devices only, weren't they? Not much of a game there, really. Yeah, Ancestors, right? That looked like it was something very, very fresh and still a game. I haven't played Disco Elysium. I just saw like 10 minutes when Kilgore Trout was streaming it on GOG.com. And I really didn't understand what was going on. But I felt they were the clever storytelling device that you need. Disco Elysium is a role-playing game. I know. Was it you or Mikias who praised it to no extent, to no small extent? Probably you both. Okay, so there's innovation, but not in the genres that have been around for very long, except role-playing, which is unlikely that it is just the role-playing games that gets a new one. Obra Dinn was a one-person project, I think. Oops. It's written C-O-M. Obra Dinn. Lucas Pope, LLC. It's very German, isn't it? Papers, Please, Return of the Obra Dinn. Papers, Please is not new. It's not yet in the store. It's not yet in the store. So you get innovation in role-playing games easier because you can tell a fresh story. Whereas strategy games rely very much on their mechanics. For example. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. It's seeing strategy game number 52 that is in its core very, very much like what we already know. It can get tiring. Is there a, you know, what would be interesting? Can you avoid it as a customer? Can you avoid getting burned out on that? Can you Is switching genres healthy? Maybe. Could be. Is it? Yeah, let's. Is that his official original soundtrack? No, there's only bollocks. I don't want to look at that. What's AR? Alternate reality? No. More like a detective game. Play everything. That's certainly an approach. Kerbal Space Program 2. Yay! Microsoft Flight Sim. Things I'm really not interested in. Vampire the Masquerade. Yeah, probably 2025. Rainbow Six Quarantine. Watch Dogs Legions. I'm not really into those. Cyberpunk might just happen. Oh, Trials of Mana. Now that's something old reinvented again. Augmented reality. Play a few and those intensively. The other edition is play everything. So there are different approaches to try to get out of the dilemma of the modern day gaming person. Filament, you're a space engineer answering a call of a stranded ship to bring power back to the ship. You should probably. Okay. That's for Sid. We'll get you a game that you like.
I don't know how you do it. Traveling alone all the way out here. It's a good job you showed up.
This is broken. Hello. I'm not sure what's going on. Something's wonky. I'll blame Eurogamer. Am I dropping frames already? Okay, I think we're back.
I don't know how you do it. Traveling alone all the way out here. It's a good job you showed up when you did. Things were starting to get a little dicey up here on my own.
Weird envy.
I can't say I found myself to be the best of company. Then again, you're not exactly an award-winning conversationalist either.
That looks cute.
I'll cut you some slack, though. You know, for not leaving me to die here. It was pretty hard in the beginning. I would just stare down at the planet for hours on end. You'd think I'd be sick of it, but even now, I couldn't stop thinking about the others either.
Oh,
I
look at
wonder
that.
if I'll ever see them again. Or at least begin to understand what happened. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you.
Oh, I think that's cut the game some slack. It's not The Witness. The Witness is completely different. So you've got 20 days to decide if that's interesting enough for you to look at. There's always at least one genre you have not tried. So yeah, Chaos-san, see you later. You're probably already on your way. Thank you so much for watching. So yeah, filaments. I think if knitting is not enough for you, you could do this. This is something I would pick up for a weekend. If I'm bored of my usual picks. By the way, just since you pointed it out, I'll do another installation of puzzling streams, because we are all sitting at home and we basically start producing only brain farts because everything else is just not working anymore. And next week on Thursday we're gonna do a puzzle stream, and you guys are gonna play for me, with me, mainly for me. My favorite version would be that you play the puzzle game and I can watch. I've got a few. Baba is used among those. I have a few puzzle games ready that we need to solve, and you better get ready. Yeah, get those brains in order. Hydrate, eat, some fresh air, and then you come back and solve the games with me. Yeah, you play. You tell me what to do. You can backseat the hell out of the puzzle games. The goal would be that we solve a puzzle game or two together as a group. So that would be RGB rope simulator. Yeah, we didn't know we needed that. So yeah. Yeah, I can do the backseating, and it's not really backseating. The idea would be a cooperative gameplay. Yeah, well, if you can't help yourselves, you can have the walkthrough on the second screen and talk me through it. If that's not boring for you, you could do that. Everything that makes you happy, actually. It's gonna be fun. We did it last year at some point. I played Baba Is You, The Witness. I basically showed a lot of puzzle games, and I could literally feel people jumping on their seats. And I think it would be cool to co-op the games with the chat. Puzzle Games. The Nameless Goose? What? No, really good ones. The Telos Principle. Ooh, yeah, nice. That's a good. I haven't had that on the list, but I can put that on the list. I've got The Witness, Baba Is You, Nova 111, and Stealth Bastard. The Telos Principle. Oh, Space Chem is a bit... how do I put it? really not open to people. I think Space Chem is a game made for robots. Untitled Goose Game. I'm not sure what that is. Is that a puzzle game? From Blashik, that's correct. If someone tells us all the solutions in a game, we could decide as a community that some of us are too smart and that they need to wait. Yeah, it's not like you play everything of the game. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out. I would move around. I don't think Space Chem is a good pick though. It's a cool puzzle game. But you know, I'd like more something, you know. Left, the other left, the other left. You can do that. You can do that. The goal would still be to solve the puzzles though. Yeah, just since it came up now, I have that. I meant to do that last week and the week before that, and I just got distracted with other things. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm looking forward to it a lot, actually. A lot. I hope you have some time to join in, and if not, I'm gonna do that again in the month of May and June and July and so on. I'm gonna do it once a month, probably on Thursdays. Just, you know, when I feel like it's that Thursday again. There are so many fun puzzle games, and I'm not sure how it is for you, but I can't solve them all alone. Some, not all. So it's kind of cool, like couch co-op, just with you being on your couch and I'm on my chair. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I think it's definitely worth an experiment. So enough talking. I have been enjoying the Kevin Newman talks a lot about games, and we watched some trailers stream. I'm going to do that again in approximately 4 months. Some of the games we looked at today will be released by then. Others will still be in the void of soon to be released. In 4 months, we might actually know something about Biomutant and Atomic Heart. And expansion 2 for Control, maybe? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Yeah, Baba is you. You can enjoy that on your own if you like. Absolutely. Huge release on Tuesday. What's that? The Untitled Goose Game. Planet Zoo South American Pack Deals. But I wasn't excited for that. Was it curry again? Ah, hilarious. Okay. So, for everybody who's playing Planet Zoo, there's going to be a DLC next week. Aha! Now we're down to farting jokes. I'm gonna go for a break, and I'll be back in a short while. I'll catch some dinner, and then I'll be back with State of Decay 2. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this stream, I want more zombies, and we're gonna take down our second Void Plague Heart, and expand our base building a bit. So join me later for State of Decay 2. It's a fabulous zombie game. And yeah, I see you later, right? Have a good Sunday, and thanks for watching Just Talking Games. we'll do that again. I really like the thingy. New base hype? Absolutely. Awesome, Fun Blashing. Have a good evening with your role playing. Enjoy it as much as you can. And be awesome, everybody. See you soon. Ahoy.
Ocean, we tear along the gales, with rum inside our bellies, warm and freedom in our sails. A wayward bunch of scoundrels, assassins, thieves and slaves. The rich and blue bloods fear us when we hunt upon the waves. And when you see it coming, that flag of baleful black, no point in turning tail, there's no escaping our attack.